What's going on, guys? Got a nice sunny day today, and today is the day that we are doing the new diff. So originally I was going to do this with my friend. I was going to do a full rust removal process video on this thing, and halfway through I realized that I actually need a lift because the new exhaust setup runs directly underneath. I think with the old exhaust setup it was just wide enough that they could kind of slip it through the middle and just kind of move the bars, move the pipes rather. But this setup is much tighter together. It's where the factory exhaust was basically. So lucky enough for me, we put V-bands on the front, so they're just going to be able to drop the whole exhaust, which is no big deal. But the other thing was the rust. So basically I used muriatic acid and crud cutter gel, and it worked really well. But I realized halfway through that this thing is like caked on. Like it needs like 3 or 4 full treatments to get that like bare metal. The result that I'm looking for is like bare metal, which honestly it got a lot of it off. The muriatic acid, if you do it sparingly and do it in like little patches, it works quite well. But I realized halfway through that it's a differential and it's gonna get painted over anyways, and it really doesn't matter. So instead of waiting any longer, I decided to just swap it in. So I called up Nissan. We're going to the actual dealership. I know a couple guys that work there, so not that I'm getting a great deal or anything, but I prefer to go to Nissan just because they know the R200 diff. Also, I get a free Uber ride home, and the rates that I was getting charged at the other place was about the same. So if I'm gonna get charged dealership rates, I may as well get the free coffee. Anyways, that's not the point. The point of the story is we are doing the diff today. So they open at 9 and about 10 minutes away. So I'm gonna get some heat in the engine, and we're gonna talk about this new diff. Q's running so good. Ever since I fixed the ignition, man, this thing just runs like a clock. So anyways, the new diff is a 3692 out of a 2008 M35X. So with the differential, basically anything pre-2007, if it came out of a 350Z or a G35, you're gonna have to differentiate between automatic and manual. And I believe the automatic's got the 335 and the manual's got the 353 or 355, I'm not sure, but it's a 35. And at 2007 they went to 3692 for both of them. So I believe that every G35, G37, 350Z, 370Z after 2007 has a 369 in it. Don't quote me on that. But I was using the Z1 Motorsports graph. I'll post that on the screen if I can find it. I can never seem to find it. But yeah, it's gonna be a big upgrade. So basically, there's 2 downsides. So our 5th gear is a very short 5th gear, which is weird because they gave us a really long final ratio. So they gave, in 2002, they gave us a 276, which is the shortest gear ratio, I believe, on any car like this. It's, you know, they went to a 3.1 right after that in 2003 for a reason. It's because it's a very long final drive. But they also gave us a 0.83, I believe it's a 0.83 5th gear, which is not a very long 5th gear. It's a pretty aggressive 5th gear. So my RPMs right now going highway speed, if I'm going the actual speed limit, is around 2,000 to 2,100. And after this, we're gonna be sitting around about 26, 27. So we're gonna take a pretty good hit on fuel economy, but the wheel torque that we're gonna gain, I can't find the online calculator, but if it's anything close to what we got from the 276 to 335, I think it's gonna be a little bit less of a jump, but we're looking at around 10-15% more wheel torque. So my friend has an M45 and he has a full exhaust, except he has stock manifolds, and he has a 369 too. And I'll post a clip of this thing going through some gears. And it sounds exactly what we need. Like honestly, I believe that we're going to be going through Well, we're gonna be in the middle of 4th, going through the traps. So instead of going into 4th, we'll be going halfway through 4th. So definitely gonna be a lot better in the quarter mile. So, anyways, engine's warm. Let's see. Let's head over to Nissan and see what's up. Okay, so I just pulled up. This is Southside Nissan for anyone that's in Vancouver. I like these guys. They're pretty cool. Definitely helped me with some more obscure requests in the past. Anyways, gonna go see what they say, and this might be one of those things where I have to come back, but these guys are cool. They give you a free Uber, so no big deal. Okay, so this is kind of a fun way to visualize this. This is Forza 5. It's pretty much the only game that I play anymore. But if you upgrade the transmission, you can adjust the final drive ratio. Factory on a 2003 Nissan 350Z, it's saying that it was a 351, which makes sense. These are our gears. Now keep in mind, ours is a 5-speed, this is a 6-speed, but I adjusted the 6th gear to be a 0.83. So just think about the last gear, really. That's all that we're really paying attention to for our speed. So on a 335, which is what I have, you can see that 5th gear, even though it's a short gear, we're geared for way, way higher than we'll ever go. Let's just say that's our 5th gear, is a 0.83, and going to a 369, you can see how much shorter that's going to be, and how much more aggressive the first gear. So obviously we have one extra gear on here, and these aren't the numbers of our 5-speed. I'm not sure what they are. You can look it up, but and you could plug that in to this and see what, you know, what mile per hour you'd be at what RPM. So obviously we're not going to 8,000, but actually that might be right around where we are. Actually, I think that's right around 6,500. Let's see what it is at 390. I think it's a 391. You can see how short that'd be. You would literally be, you know, running out of 5th gear at 160 miles an hour, that's kind of what I figured would be the ideal ratio. If I could get a 391 or 403 would be ideal, but those gears are very popular and they are very expensive. The 391, interestingly enough, actually can be found in a manual G37 convertible. It was also found in the Nismo 350Z. All of these gears, you're never going to find one of these for cheap. They are a well-known secret, and if you find them online, they're well over $1,000. So this is why I chose the 369. It is kind of your poor man's 410 gear. It's available for $200, and you know, from a 391 to a 369, it's a big jump for sure, but it's not that big. And from 369 to, let's see, the 276, it's gonna be insane. When I say it was geared for 200 miles an hour, I am not kidding. It is like really, really long. So this is what is in your stock 2002 Q45. So let's just look at the first gear. Let's just say that this is our actual gear ratios. So from first gear, you're going to like 50 miles an hour, and then we put in the 369, and we're going to say 40 miles an hour. Anyways, it's an interesting way to visualize it.
One eternity later.
Well, wasn't as easy as I thought it'd be. Basically, the prop shaft bolts are, the flange is different. So the bolts they use nuts, whereas ours are just threaded. And basically what happened is these bolts aren't long enough. I was originally planning on just swapping the flange, which this wouldn't have been an issue. But he makes a good point. The crush washer that's inside that sits on really shouldn't be reused, and even though we did it the first time, it's not something that they want to do. So I've got to get some longer bolts, and then it shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, it's annoying. I thought it'd be done by today. Okay, so we got the new diff in. Ran into a couple issues. Basically, the prop shaft flange on the M35 diff uses nuts and bolts, whereas mine has a threaded hole, so it actually uses a different length bolt, and these guys didn't know the correct bolt, and even if they did, it would have taken too long to order. They don't have that stuff here. But I went up to a specialty fastener shop and picked up some bolts, and I will post those in the description. I don't know them offhand, but we changed thread pitch because they didn't have anything in that proper thread pitch, so it's a different thread, but they are M10 bolts. But anyways, this is gonna be the first drive. I'm gonna switch over to the GoPro here and give you guys some thoughts. Okay, let's see what it's like, because he made a couple good points. Okay, there's no exhaust leak. He had a bit of an exhaust leak the first time he bolted it up. He did suggest getting another set of nuts and doubling them up, so I will be doing that. They'd only had blue Loctite, which is most likely fine. Oh wow, I can feel a big difference already just in idle. Holy. Interesting. Okay. The other thing is to watch out for vibration. So I'm gonna get under the car probably in a day or two and check the bolts themselves. Oh, it's very noticeable. It's very noticeable. Very interesting. Definitely a lot more wheel torque. I am barely touching the gas. Yeah, so I definitely feel a lot more wheel torque down low. Just even like in gear with no throttle, it's noticeable. See what it's like pulling up this hill. Yeah, it feels like I barely have to touch the pedal at all. I just did a quick little blast, and I remember that I wasn't recording. Yeah, very quick in second gear. Yeah, it gets up there really fast. Wow. Just want to check one thing going up here, just because I wanted to see what it's like up a hill without traffic in front of me, and it's definitely nice. But I do want to check, just make sure it's not dripping or anything. Kind of ran out of time there with having to go get bolts and whatnot. It feels fine. There's no grinding or binding, or feels exactly the same, except it just feels that feels like you're in like half a gear lower. You know, sometimes you're in first and you start accelerating, you go, oh, that feels different. That's not second gear. Well, that's exactly how it feels. Okay. So yeah, the car looks good from the outside, but if you get low, you can actually see where the, where is it? There you are. That is annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I might mention that to him. But no binding. Let's take a look on this side. This is the side that actually had some bad scratches. I get it, they're in a rush, but it is annoying. Whatever. It'll buff. Like I said, I used to be really anal about this stuff, and it would really bug me. It would keep me up at night
thinking about little dings and scratches. That's not what this car is. It's not a beater, but it's not going to be a show car. Never will be. Okay, so I'm not going to launch this thing until I get the second nut on there. I'm sure it's fine. It feels totally fine. And realistically, there should be no break-in period since we haven't changed the pinion flange, or pinion gear rather. But I do want to go through just a quick little RPM to send this off. Oh my god. So first into second is 5,400 RPM. Let's go. That's gonna be nuts. Holy moly. Yeah, so for comparison, it was at like 4,800. You know, still within VIS, still within the power band, but definitely that is really short. That's awesome. Oh man, we're gonna have to go out. We're gonna have to go out and do some more testing. That was awesome. Yeah, that felt good. For the actual like drivability, feels great. It's like just driving in third. It's you know, if you ever driven in second or third, you get that extra like little bit of wheel torque. It's like that, but in every gear. It just always feels like it's in a half gear lower. We have a Friday test and tune coming up, so it'll be very interesting to see what this thing does at the track. Yeah, it shifts really early now, which is nice. I'm gonna call that a win, boys. So we got a lot more testing to do, but I am chalking that up as a win. I really appreciate you guys watching. I'm not sure how entertaining this video is gonna be. It's mostly just me pulling my hair out. 3692 in the books. Absolutely recommended mod. If you're trying to get some torque out of this thing, trying to get some acceleration, feels really good. But that's gonna do it for this video, boys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.